water and sanitation services should be made of good quality materials, should have adequate space, secure tenant, and it should be accessible to people in a very good location where people can live or habitable. Despite all this, it is a big issue to have access to basic services in many of the houses that we construct throughout the world. Affordability depends on the region where you are working in. In developed countries, you just need to hook the house to water supply lines or sewer lines. In a developing country, you do not have the same access. Sometimes the house is located several miles away from the source of the water or sewer lines. In order to address this, we have to make sure that affordability is taken into consideration. In talking about affordability, we mean the ability to pay for those services that are rendered to the homeowner. Interestingly, it is estimated that about 3 to 5% of household income should be spent on water and sanitation services. But this is not the case in many cases where we have worked in. For example, in the slums of Nairobi, Manila, and Jakarta, slum dwellers are paying 5 to 10 times for water services than their counterparts in the high-income neighborhoods. This simply tells us that water is not affordable to these people because they are already spending more than 3 to 5% of their incomes to pay for those services. To address this, Habitat works with communities, partners, and other stakeholders in different ways to make sure that water and sanitation services are affordable. For example, Habitat looks at extending pipelines from far away sources to communities to reduce the cost of capital costs that would have been incurred by the communities. This would go a long way to reduce the utilities that would be charged to the homeowner. In Ethiopia, we have extended pipes from over 50 kilometers and above to communities in order for them to access water. In other areas, we have implemented technologies that have very low operation and maintenance costs, which would end up reducing the cost of operation and maintenance and other costs that would be associated and charged to the homeowner. For example, in Liberia, we have implemented solar-based pumping water systems that is delivering water to a 30,000 slum community with very, very low water charges. It is estimated that these slum communities would be able to access water far lower than what they were paying using tanker services. Again, in some areas, Habitat empowers private groups to invest and innovate and scale up affordable, low-cost technologies. For example, in Brazil, we invest in rainwater harvesting, which makes water more affordable to the rural and poor communities. In Mexico, we are supporting business groups to innovate low-cost technologies to improve rainwater harvesting in Mexico City. It is very important to know that Habitat would always work with homeowners to empower them to have this knowledge, as well as support them with loans to access basic wash services.